I do have kind of a funny story if you want to. It's relevant to a story I heard from Woody. It was one of those like, it was when I was going through your subreddit, right? And I remember seeing there was just people talking about. You had some story about going to like a black barbershop and you walked in and just went like, "I'm out."
That's not what happened. Oh, that did happen. I know.
Oh wait, yeah, that totally did.
No,
exactly.
One time I got my hair cut and I thought it was that happened.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, very, very similar to that. Very funny is my brother just got a divorce, and so with the divorced family, he's got this kid, and anything that like the ex-wife and her ex-mother-in-law do to the kid is like anything that happens is under a microscope by my brother and his camp, and vice versa. My fucking mom does not play this shit, dude. She's like, "Hey, this boy has long hair. I'm going to take him to go get his hair cut without apparently asking anybody." Which in this situation, things are volatile. Cut hair on a 2-year-old is a big deal. It's his first haircut. You know, she just took him out to go get his haircut, but because she was just tired of it, she watches him and his hair's just swinging in front of his eyes and he's pissed off all the time. He's like, "My fucking hair's in my face." So she calls up a barbershop and goes, "Hey, you cut little boy's hair?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. Come on in." So she makes an appointment. She shows up at the barbershop and, walks in, and it is just 2 rows of black barbers cutting black dude's hair. It was just the blackest barbershop of all time. Slam packed. The last chair at the end of the row doesn't have a customer in it, and it's the guy that she talked to on the phone. He's like, "Come on, sit down." And my mom's like, "Oh my God." She goes,
"I can't leave now."
Yeah, she like sets him down.
Run, Tommy.
She had an appointment. And she sits him down, and the guy's like, "How do you want his haircut?" And she's like a fucking white kid haircut. I don't know. Like just a normal. That's what his hair looked like, but longer, like in the front, because he's a blonde kid. And she was just like a fucking like regular white kid haircut. And so the guy's like, "All right, how about this? Come over here. We got all these pictures up of haircuts, and you tell me which one you like." And she's like, she said she was standing there. There's 50 fucking haircuts on the wall. Every single one of them was a black guy. Like there was not a single picture of a white haircut on the wall.
All right, well, I guess just square them up.
She ended up being able to figure out her her phone, right? To like, she's an old lady. She's like figuring out Google. She's like, white person haircut. She Google images that, and she's like, here you go. There's like what the white's like. And the guy's like, okay. She shows him like everybody here's haircut. Like we all have the same fucking hair. Just white man. We always make fun of them saying they look alike, but like white people, we are basically all the same guy, except for Taylor's head's all misshapen and huge. But
fair. No, you're right. So just do the hair where you can push it over to the side. Boom.
Yeah, boom. White people hair. So the guy goes, "Absolutely, I understand exactly what you're talking about." He fucking ignored what she asked. He gave him a lineup. He got lined up.
Oh, I've been there.
I've been there.
Zach, find my picture.
Fucking did the razor lineup. He had the fucking the corner thing, just like that picture you put up, Zach. It was just a perfect corner. He had the lineup job. And he looked fucking great. I was like, this is awesome. That is the funniest shit in the world, to see a 2-year-old kid with a lineup. And then apparently the in-laws or the ex-wife and her mother cried when they saw
That's me lined up. I went to a black
you got
barber.
lined up? Hell yes.
Woody had in his head that the best barbers were black barbers.
Yeah, they are. It's a totally different, because cutting white people's hair, it does not require science. It doesn't require precision.
On
But it's not the
Reddit, they
best
would
for
always
a
like
white person.
judge the fade, right? And these guys would get the fade with such precision and having it so. I was like, man, these guys are doing a haircut at an artist level. Yeah. So I was like, I want to go, and then also, I had seen enough movies and such where like the environment of the black barbershop shooting the shit about college basketball was the thing that I wanted to participate in. And
it's not going to happen, but carry on.
No, I was not invited into the conversations, and they cut my hair like a black person, and it didn't work out at all like I thought it was going to.
Let me ask you this. What is like the striking thing about a black barbershop? Very quiet in there. I mean, it was full. It was not full. And no one was saying a word. It was very solemn. Very solemn, the black barbershop.
It's kind of like church.
Just the most narc-looking person comes in. Hi, friends. Could you line up my hair?
You dress like an off-duty police officer. You have like cargo pants and shit. Yeah, that's.
He carries tools. Like
it doesn't help that they also witness you like patrolling the skies at a very low altitude, like on your time off.
It's really
the thought of you, the thought of you driving to get your haircut and thinking, I can't wait for the conversation, and then getting there and it's just ice out. It's so funny to me. Like, have you been watching the Pistons? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the worst part about it is somehow this is getting left off. He took his son with him, right? Because it's father-son haircut day.
Yeah.
And after they jack Woody all up, Woody's like, all right, son, your turn. And so they both go home with these matching haircuts.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I can't believe they didn't give you the conversation though. That's pretty fucked up.
I didn't get it. No.
Yeah, that is very rude.
They iced me out.
Although, black barbers have competition with Turkish barbers. Those Turkish motherfuckers, they got a lot of hair and it's always real coarse and shit. And they do like they do the fade that goes into the beard, and nobody grows a beard like a Turkish dude. These things are like a perfect cone.
Yeah.
And they're able to do all sorts of shit with their barber work.
You ever
I just
seen
go to
fuck it. I think Turkish barbers are better. Let's start a race war on that white people aren't involved in. Let's pit them against each other.
Pick your side. You know, I never see like a Japanese barber, but I bet they'd use like wooden scissors or something.
Dude, Japanese gets way too much fucking hype, all right? Their shit isn't that fucking good. A fork is way better than chopsticks. Fuck you. Use screws in your wood shit. Like, no. Like, just because it's old doesn't mean it's better. I don't want you cutting my hair with like an old piece of bamboo that's sharpened on one side.
I feel like we
get clippers.
We'll give them props and be like, man, what an awesome temple. What a cool bit of culture. Yeah. And then, you know, they'll give us props for stuff sometimes, but then like we will take the chopsticks as part of the like, okay, we'll have chopsticks. They suck, but they will not convert to forks. They've been defeated on the utensil question for decades, and they still foolishly, hard-headedly hold on to these sticks, which is objectively a worse way to consume rice or anything.
I would love to go to a steak restaurant and look over and just see a very confused Japanese man just looking at a big ribeye like, fuck. I think they use forks and knives, though.
I will not disgrace my ancestors.
No, Sam, I have a question. It's been burning in my head. I have to flip and know. Here's the story. Tell me what's true. You were going to be a guest like a year ago. You looked at the subreddit. You said, you guys are so fucking toxic. I want nothing to do with the show. And it took a year to change your mind. Is that remotely true?
No, it's not you guys. It's the fucking your subreddit. I went on there. They were just screaming about everybody. They were like, Woody's this old fucking out of touch piece of shit.
They're not like, wrong.
Kyle's fat and he likes traps. And then Taylor, they're like, Taylor's head's big. He's pretty cool, but Taylor's head's big. And I was like, holy shit, the audience sucks. I don't want to be a part of this shit. Cause like the whole scheme here was, I was like, I got this podcast, right? But it's like not organic at all. Doesn't have any actual viewers. It's like just offloaded garbage from my YouTube channel that it's like trickle over effect. Sure. You guys have actual people that enjoy podcasts, you know? And so I was like, hey, if I'm a guest on there, I might get some of them. And then I was looking at your subreddit. I was like, I don't want any of them. That's the last thing I want. These people fucking suck. But I've been looking at the subreddit, and all of a sudden the tides have turned. All of a sudden Kyle got ripped Woody was less of a whatever the fuck you were doing. Taylor's head got a little bit smaller. And,
I appreciate it.
And now everybody's nicer now. Have you guys ever gone to that Instagram page? It's like Crime Scene Cleaner Inc. or something.
No, that sounds gross.
No.
Yeah, it's like
gross?
It's an Instagram. The guy runs a CSI or a crime scene cleaner business. And I don't know how he gets around it, but you follow his page and he's just like, yeah, so this person fell 48 stories and cracked on the pavement. And he just shows the before of like a complete ketchup packeted person. You know, they've just been squished. And then he shows like the after, which is a beautiful, pristine sidewalk, no blood stains anywhere. You know, and they're incredible. There's some where it's like person died in a bathtub and they found him 48 weeks later, and he's like, it's a picture of the bathtub and everything, and then next picture is it looks like a brand new bathroom. He's cleaned it.
You know, in this modern day world where so many are struggling with the wage gap and unemployment and such, crime scene cleanup seems like an area where a hardworking entrepreneur could slide under and underbid everyone and get himself knee deep in viscera and really make a career out of it, right? Like if you would,
he has his cleaners, dude. You could do this, but his cleaning like formula, he says he makes his own shit.
Oh,
he's like an alchemist. He's over there like making his own Windex and stuff.
Shit,
and he refuses to say because
proprietary blend.
Yeah. Because not only does it clean up all the blood and shit so you can't visually see it, but he says if you were to do the swab, you know, like they say if you clean blood with bleach, they do the swab and they go, there's blood there, but the DNA is damaged. Like they can't do a DNA match, but they can say there was blood here.
Or bodily fluid in general.
Yeah.
You know what you do?
This guy, his shit cleans it. It's like some enzyme cleaner. It cleans it to the point where they can't even tell that there's blood. So you got to murder someone and then hire him to clean up the scene and say that the cops have already been there. Or whatever.
That's probably his business model. He's just keeping it. Because I found a couple accounts on Instagram. By the way. I don't use Instagram, but I thought you couldn't show like extreme graphic blood and gore stuff. One of the pictures he had on there, or if this is the same guy or a different guy, was like clearly where someone was probably stabbed to death in bed. And there's so much weight of viscera and blood and gore, and that like the side of the bed is like there's still like an eighth of a person there, like that much viscera, and it's just a picture of that. This guy did not have any after photo. He's just stoked to be sharing his line of work, apparently. But it is, and there's other ones where it's like shit everywhere.
Of that other guys. That's really much of a fucking business model if you just show the before picture. I want a fucking after.
Do you think they get paid by the hour?
No, they get paid by the difficulty of work.
The job.
I would charge. I would charge like $350 an hour, and I think that would just cut it, right? Like oh my god, that's what it would cost, right? They like throw a number out.
You're gonna have to be a ton.
You're gonna be crime scene cleanup man.
I'm 60 minutes in, wading through the brain matter and shattered bone, and I'm not going to be like, wow, that was worth $350 fucking dollars. No, I want more than that. No way.
No, I think that's what the man on the ground should get paid, but it's not what he gets paid, is it? I think that's what I would need to get paid to be the man on the ground. I'd do it for $350 an hour. Oh, fuck me in the ass.
Oh no.
15 an hour?
50. That's the average.
Dude, that's what they pay at Kroger.
I know.
Go work at
crime
Kroger.
Scene cleaner.
Go to Kroger.
$15
Dude,
an
he
hour.
quoted postmen make 18 to 34 an hour.
Yeah, they don't even have to clean up a single dead body unless it's after hours and they're doing their own thing.
There's gas
people out.
There's gas stations near me that say like starting at 14. It's like, go do that.
I would rather clean up dead bodies than work at a gas station. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, this is a quick trip. Those are the nice gas stations.
Oh,
this
is
is that like the Flying J of
QT?
wherever the hell you are?
No,
yeah.
QT is really fancy. All right, really fancy is going too far. It's a fucking gas station.
It's a very nice gas station.
But
as far
their
as gas stations
concession
go.
area is so ridiculous. Like it is Americana in like one corner of a goddamn gas station. I don't know how many different kinds of Slurpee / slushies / ices / flavored coffees they have back there. But 100 wouldn't be an unreasonable like number of varieties. It's absurd.
And they have like the new quick trips, at least the ones near me. Like they have a whole area now where it's like you can order. Like you can order a pizza.
Oh yeah, they've got a restaurant
or chicken wings or onion rings or something. I've never gotten anything there.
Me
because
either.
It's like even me, like I'm not going to get a pizza at Quick Trip.
Unless it's got a 4.7 stars on DoorDash. I noticed that the other day. I was like, how the fuck does like QT? Because I always go by like highest rated because I'm gonna find some like hidden gem Indian place or something. Fucking Racetrack is the highest rated restaurant near me. It's depressing.
Dude, like you remember when you were a kid and you didn't understand like that certain things weren't diseases? Because I remember like I went into an old folks home with my mom. I'm like a young kid, and it was to see my great grandfather at the time. It was many, many years ago. And when I walked in, I was just like, oh, and I just walked around like this with my shirt over my face. Like it was such, and I was like a 4-year-old kid, and my mom had to tell me repeatedly, like, stop doing that. Like you're walking around like saucer-eyed, like smelling death for the first time in your life, and you want to pull it up over your nose. And I remember thinking in my head, I didn't think like these old people are dying. Yeah, I thought like, how is everybody else not covering up their nose from this smell? And now you realize old people, their noses are shot. Their noses
are that true?
I've never experienced this.
Yeah.
What,
you never smelled the smell of death?
Yeah, smell of old people.
You know, when I was a kid, I would
for sure.
Old people have it on them?
Yeah, like if you walk into
the
ICU smells different than another fucking wing of the hospital, dude. You walk in those rooms and they
forgive me, I'm a little confused about what we're saying here. Are you suggesting that people of a certain age begin to smell like death? Or are you saying that where someone has died, then that room now smells like death?
No, we're not talking about
people who get to a certain age get to a smell of death.
All right, well,
like this, you can smell the afterworld approaching. It's not. You know what? I can prove it. You know, at that same.
Here's what you're doing. You're equating your death smell is the smell of like a hospital where people dies. I bet it's the smell of like bleach and fucking maybe a little bit of like urine or something, and like it's the hospital smell. But there's if you take that old
smell like that, man.
All right, you take a 103-year-old dying person out of that ICU, you drag them out on the beach somewhere in Florida, throw a little sand on them, smell them now. They don't smell like death.
Well, you just
they smell like
them with the essence of beach. Yeah, you fucked it up. You can't.
If you artificially hide the death smell, and I could with my great grandpa, he used to introduce me to his very old friends there at the old folks home, and the ones that smelled like really very much of death, I would curl up at the foot of their bed and sleep there, and I could almost predict their deaths. Yeah.
Like how close would you be to the time when somebody was going to die?
By the time I woke, they were gone. I was kind of
God, it's fucked up. How old were you?
I was probably 2. This was last year. I was 30.
I can imagine you curling up at the foot of my bed.
You're like a big dude. I just imagine the bed's like compressed. Like people, you're laying on their legs.
I'm totally on top of their little legs.
Clots. It's like this fucking 250-pound guy laid over my legs and crushed them, and then he got up, and I got blood clots into my heart.
Have you seen those stories of cats that can predict when people will die? Now you can say that's obviously made up. No. Explain how all of these anecdotes from the same narrative-driven old women who are bored line up the same. I dare you.
I got nothing.
You're saying that all these people are just looking for attention, and it happens to be that a cat can walk into any room and predict death pretty reliably?
It's in like nursing homes, right?
Yeah.
Someone should tell like whoever comes up with that shit that like nobody cared when you were going to die anyway. Like the idea that you have the date nailed down is not a big deal to us.
Yeah. Dude, that's got to be the most depressing thing in the world.
You're supposed to laugh. That was an awful thing I said.
No, that made it made me feel sad, and now it made me think about how horrible of a death that would be. Alone in a nursing home, the nurses are tired of your shit. They're like rude to you. Sometimes they smack you or something.
Yeah,
like just knowing you're gonna die.
The most depressing thing. Do you guys know what a death doula is? Okay, so what a doula is they're typically a birth doula, and they serve as like the mommy advocate at the hospital, right? They make sure that they're getting the attention they need, and they're just kind of like an experienced friend, paid, that that's the doula. They're their helper. A death doula is someone who is your buddy as your mom or grandfather dies or whatever. And they've been through this process many times before, and they're just helping you understand what's going on and feeling a little better about it. Mm-hmm. We watched our mother-in-law as she fought cancer towards the end. Okay. And this person wasn't officially a death doula, but she kind of filled that role. She was a hospice worker, and she would come by and visit every day and kind of predict death. Like, look her over and be like, 3 to 5 days from now, like, oh, maybe tomorrow.
How did you pick a good one? They don't have reviews.
We didn't pick her, but we got a good one. So the hospice assigned her to us. And one time she's over and she's with Jackie, and she would just visit for like 30 minutes and explain like what the death rattle is and the breathing patterns. And, you'd think a pamphlet wouldn't be helpful, but it was. Just like reading through what's brand new information to us, well phrased. Did you want to say something, Kyle?
I didn't want to interrupt, but I had a question. Is the pamphlet all text, or are there any cartoons of dying people in it?
There's like pencil sketches of
like
things.
X's over the eyes.
No, not like that.
Stick figures.
But like, a woman's hair in like a position she might lay in is like a pencil sketch type
Brownie
thing.
faces.
Yeah.
No. All right. So let me continue. Anyway, so one time she comes over and she's usually there for like 30 minutes, and like she might help change the sheets and stuff. You have to move someone this far along very gingerly. And you guys are laughing at my mother-in-law dying.
I am not. That wasn't my intention.
One time she comes over and she's like, she helps. She's finished, and she does this like, she finishes and she's like, you know what? Maybe I should stay. And that was her like, this woman's got minutes left. And she was right. She could see that. And she was by
the smell, by the way. That's what it was.
Death.
She was by Jackie's side in the final minutes of her mother's life. And on one hand, this is like literally a hero to me. Like this job, the function that she serves is huge and valuable in this world. But I could never do it.
Horrible job.
Right?
They're always good. Hospice doesn't fuck around. My experience with hospice, every single person was super professional, and they did the same shit. They walked in, and once again, by the way, Kyle, fuck you. It was the smell. They walked in and went, "Yep, he's going." And they,
who
within
is
like
this
30
we're talking
minutes.
about?
Oh, it was my grandfather.
Okay,
they took a whiff and they were like, "Soon."
They didn't even open the door. They put their nose to the floor right at the crack, and they went.
See, I've never heard of that, but I have heard.
Minutes.
What we did when my grandmother was going, we had a guy come in with a divining rod. Like they find wells with.
Yeah.
And he put that over her head to toe, and he was like, yep.
Did he drop the little stick on her? You know, like if you
it
fuck
dipped.
up and then
It dipped. Yeah.
What are those called?
The divining rod.
A divining rod.
Yeah, you've never
They
seen
can
someone
find
do it?
wells or dying people, not dead people, not alive people, but right in between.
Right
that
in
thing
between.
will go wacky.
And
Right
purgatory
over.
people.
I do know. They say it'll lead you to water, right?
Yeah, so I've had a well drill before, or an attempt. The way it works is you pay like $900, $1,000.
Divining people didn't.
He failed.
Twice?
Hey, if it's not there, he can't find it. So they drill 3 times, and like whether it works or not, we're gonna drill 3 times, up to 3 times.
You paid him 3 times.
No, you pay one flat fee, and the deal is he'll.
No, you pay for the 3 drill package. You get the beams.
Yeah. He comes out with the rods though, and the rod dips, and he drills, and he's like, "Nope." And I'm like, And he gets back out with the rods and drills, and nope. And then the third time he gets like a trickle, and he's like, I knew there was some here. But it still like wasn't enough for a well.
I'd be like, fuck you, I'm picking the next spot. Like, this is my money. What
am I just guessing? I'm gonna throw a rock?
It's more accurate than the stick, man. Like, there's no way.
Is the stick accurate or not?
No,
it's a fucking stick.
Dude, it's called water dowsing. And it seems to be a way that you fooled people before science was around.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Oh, okay. So here's my story. This happened this fall, like this winter. It just happened. We have an underground hose that goes from the well to the stable. And in the stable, there are some like faucets and shit. Okay. there's a puddle in the yard that doesn't belong there. It's at a high point, like water wouldn't collect on the top of a little mound. And I tried to convince myself that it wasn't a problem for a day or two, but it's not going away. And Jackie's like, I bet a pipe burst that goes from here to there. And I stop lying to myself, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I call my hole guy. I got a hole guy, and I'm like, I need a hole dug and this thing repaired. And he's like, I'm your guy. And he uses a witching rod. I think that's what he called it. It was like a coat hanger bent in a right angle, and he follows it and finds the water. And I'm like, he seemed to genuinely believe this. And he's like, it definitely works. And he let me try it. And it's like twirling around in ways that I think I'm not controlling, but I don't know for sure. Because he's so convincing. I don't know.
His private Facebook group later, he's like, I got another one.
You can't shit on the death smell if you believe the coat hanger is finding water, okay? Like, there's no way.
I don't believe the coat hanger can find water, and I don't believe that anybody can smell someone and know that they're about. How about this? Guy's about to die. You smell him. You got the scent in your nose. Mm-hmm. What if I rush in real quick and we provide some extra medical care and push him along for 3 or 4 days? Are you wrong in this instance?
Then the smell wouldn't have existed in the first place because he wasn't
exactly.
Checkmate.
You were wrong. Checkmate.
No. I think he'll just linger there. Like he'll just smell.
There's
like
no
shit
smell
for 3 days. There is. They're like lungs and liver and everything's failing, and their bodies stew.
All right. How about this? There might be a very particular kind of death, perhaps one that involves liver failure, that makes you smell a certain way.
Things are shutting down. Their cells aren't reproducing right. There's just like I'm not talking like if someone gets whacked by a car and then they linger on for 15 minutes on the sidewalk. I'm not going to walk by and be like,
they don't have the scent.
He smells like death. No, I'm talking about someone that's like their body has lived its max and it's like, fuck it. I'm starting to shut down and the brain is still happening.
Someone who's like marinating in death.
Look, I'm going to hit up some hospices this week. I'll get back.
Sniff.
Yeah, I'm gonna sniff.
And I just found this. It was the first result on Google from a very pointed search, I'll admit. But changes to the metabolism of the dying person can cause their breath, skin, and bodily fluids to have a distinct smell similar to nail polish remover. And then if it's bowel or stomach cancer, it can be stronger. So there is a smell that happens.
You went out of your way, the other believer here, went out of your way to go Google shit because you saw Zach was putting all this fucking bullshit propaganda in the chat that was basically saying we're scientifically debunked and there is no death smell. But what does he know? He's just
what does he know? This is from hospiceuk.org. .org, dumbasses. They don't hand those out.
Yeah. This is. I want to see Zach's
They literally
sources.
hand them out.
I want to see his bibliography.
This is from the rightwingnation.fact. And it's that probably is a site. That's like there is something. Do you guys feel the same way? Where like you'll look something up and you'll get the information you wanted about anything, and then it'll be like a .biz, and you'll immediately assume like these fucking clowns, like as if they know the right way to work your ROM boy, whatever the fuck the question.
I've been on the other side too, where it's like, oh, I've got a great idea for business. I'm gonna name it, the right wing fact, the truth from the right. And then truthfromtheright.com is taken. Truth from the .net is taken. And you're like, will people take me seriously if I'm .org? Will people take me seriously if I'm .fact or whatever?
You have to just keep getting longer and longer. Find us at the absolute, don't ask questions, your answer is here, truth.biz. Is how it would go. But I mean, there's so many sites now.
Funny you mentioned that. Like, I pulled into my house the other day, and my neighbor was outside. He's about 30, I guess, black guy. And he comes walking toward me and he's like, yo, I roll my window down. Hey, what's up, man? He's like, somebody out here checking mailboxes. And I'm like, huh? He's like, somebody's out here going through all the mailboxes. Just come through here. They seen him. And I was like, who? What did he look like? And he said it was a light skin. And then that other word I'm not allowed to say for some reason, even though he said it. It was a light skin. What do we say instead?
Ninja.
Yeah, it was a night. He said it was a light skinned ninja. Whoa! Why did you take it to a racial place?
You said light skin.
Like no one here has mentioned race or anything of the sort.
What did Sam say?
He said African American.
Yeah.
Oh my! I don't know why he said that. I was talking about martial artists. I figured. Oh yeah.
No, yeah, I thought you were talking about, because it would make more sense that if a light-skinned black guy was going through mailboxes than
Asians like you've never seen, like Filipinos are a bit more dark skinned. This was clearly a Japanese man who had been speaking about.
That makes a lot of sense in Georgia for a Asian man to be sleuthing around going through people's mailboxes. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
He was wearing a hoodie. I could be wrong. So he said it was a light skinned ninja, and I was like, "Oh, one of those, eh?" And he's like, "I was like, I don't like that at all." He's like, "Me neither. We're gonna look on our camera, see if we can get it. You look on yours," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I pull up my cameras and stuff. I'm like,
"You have one?" Okay.
Yeah. And he's got like a hoodie on. You can't see him, but he's walking a pit bull like through our neighborhood, like going through everybody's shit. And like the mail hadn't been delivered yet to me, I guess, or maybe I just didn't have any that day. So he's just like, he goes through everybody's fucking mailboxes in our.
Oh, looking for packages.
Yeah, I guess so. With his pit bull too, which is scary.
He doesn't want your bills. Electric bills don't mind if I do.
Are you like one of those? Do you like pit bulls? Or
I'm personally like anti-pit bull for like 99% of the time. I will say this because I think they're like killing machines and that like they're meant to be like doing a very specific job. My dad has just had like 3 dogs in a row die to like either animal attacks or like getting smushed by machinery. And he's like, I think the next dog I get is going to be a pit bull I raised from a puppy because I need something that can survive around here. Like these little dogs I've been getting, they're not tough enough. They can't handle it. Like
you have Chihuahuas?
No, it's not that little, but it's like little like 30-pound, like little 30-pound mixed type dogs that are like yipping around and running. Like they get hit by a tractor or something, and they just fucking get vaporized. Whereas in the past, our bigger dogs, like they can take a licking and keep on ticking if you get them to the vet. And so I think I think he might actually get a pit bull because like we also have the fucking neighbors' dogs every now and then will like come over and like want to kill one of our dogs. And now you've got to
now I'm with you because I was like, he could have a chocolate lab or something and it would be sturdy for the farm.
We had a chocolate lab. We had that, and I remember it was fighting 3 Dobermans at the same fucking time in the field. And but little did they know, like Max had backup. So Dad's on the back porch with a Remington 700, like laying them out one after another. And they're far enough away that Max and the Dobermans have no idea what's going on. And he's like, you can see him. He's like, argh! They're in a standoff, and like one of them falls over dead, and he's just like, fuck yeah, scared him to death. When that dog came home after having felled 3 larger beasts, he was on top of the fucking world. His tail was just, like, what's up, guys? Yeah, I was holding it down for you out there. Killed 3 of them.
I was about to say, if like a neighbor's dog comes onto my property and fucks with anything, like I don't think you can get shit for shooting them, like, right?
I had that. I told the story on the show before. Like when we first moved in
those
here,
fuckers down, dude.
Our neighbor had an aggressive German Shepherd, and you have to understand that I live on a pretty big lot. So for him to
I've seen the full satellite view of your place. I was watching your videos. Like, this guy's a fucking psycho. He's just pointed out like. Yeah, graphically, he's like, where it is, like, fucking come in from this angle if you don't want to be seen. Here's the access road.
I remember you making fun of when the flight simulator came out. We landed in the yard. That was funny.
You are suicidal, dude. You're just giving away like every here's a 360-degree scan of my whole property.
I did a house tour once, but anyway,
here's the inside in another video. Okay,
yeah. So then but the audience needs to know that it's a big property. So for a German Shepherd to come all the way to the center of it where our house is really intrusive, more so than it would have been at our last place. Yeah. And he was aggressive enough that like my wife and kids couldn't leave the car. You know, they're in the driveway and the dog's like barking at him. She's calling me. I'm inside. Like, I don't even know how to get from my car to my house because the neighbor's dog is harassing us. Or outside our kitchen doors where the outside trash cans.
Yeah.
We can't throw our trash away because the dog is not letting us out of our house. Or at the end, the dog would like chase me to where I took the trash to the curb. And at one point I talked to the neighbors and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm like forced to shoot your dog. Your dog is attacking me on my property. and you let him run free all the time to harass my family and I.
Yeah, you got kids and a wife, dude. I would have gunned that thing down first day.
They ended up moving. And they had planned on moving anyway. It wasn't about me, unless I expedited it. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I do feel in the right. Like if a dog's coming,
right. I went through that my whole life, like living on that farm and always having our own dogs and livestock. With like when a calf gets born, it's covered in blood and like crazy weak, and like you wouldn't think a dog won't run up and tear a calf to death. They just won't do that, but they will chase it because that's fun to them, and they can chase death. Like they can. Dogs are good at that, and calves aren't. Like if they chase it enough, they'll stress it out, and they heat stroke in the summer. Like they just die. Like that sort of thing happens. So when they came on our property, we zapped them, and we didn't ask anybody or tell anybody. We zapped them, and we just threw them in the field. With a whatever we had handy. Yeah, we killed them. We shot them dead.
Okay.
Yeah. If you own a dog and
if they were there, they were up to no good. Like they weren't. They weren't there to visit. They were there.
That's the hanging out dogs.
Like. Yeah. I'm not shooting your dog on your property. Your dog came to my. You let your dog run free. My dog doesn't leave my property.
Like dog walking in my ditch. Like I have a more suburban type place. I've seen your plot of land and everything, man. Like if a dog is at your actual doorstep, in your carport, he's getting gunned down. You are way beyond. This ain't a stroll through the corner of my lot.
That's where you hit the garage door opener. Yeah. and let it close behind him. You're like, oh, you fucked up, buddy.
And I would be super apologetic.
Where they lock him in.
Yeah.
I would drop this thing off at the neighbors too. I would be like, I'm really sorry.
Idle for 3 or 4 hours. Come out there, throw the dog in the back. You're all done.
The dog goes into the garage like Joe Pesci. Shot in the back of the head as soon as he gets in.
I just imagine you like eating dinner with Jackie and be like, I'm gonna borrow this knife, this big knife you got here. We hit a deer on the way. I gotta what do you call it? The hoof. I gotta hack it off. Are you gonna hack the dog up and bury it? No,
no, you'd be totally in the right, Woody.
And I'm a dog lover. I wasn't looking forward to this, but Kyle gave me a good idea. We actually put bear spray. The golf cart has cup holders. It's like that's our first step. Bear spray. See how the dog responds to that.
That is bullshit though. Like just from any perspective, like when you hear that like Walmart, like every Walmart employee is also getting government benefits because they don't pay enough. And so it's like, okay, so we're just subsidizing a workforce for Walmart. That's bullshit. Like that's not fair. That's not fair at all. It's trash.
When's the last time you were in a Walmart?
Cool. I haven't been to Walmart in a while. I have nothing against Walmart. I like it.
What, are you scared of them?
No, I mean if I need to go somewhere and
the way you said it, you're like, nothing against Walmart though.
nothing against the esteemed Walton family.
God rest their souls.
When's the last time I've been in a Walmart? Again, I'm not afraid of Walmarts. Don't accuse me of being too big a pussy.
I'm not saying you guys are afraid.
Of Walmart.
I'm saying you're not white
accusing
trash.
me of being
I'm accusing
scared
you of
Walmart.
having just a little class.
You hear that, Walton family? Kyle Myers in Northern Georgia says, "Give me all you got." He won't be bullied by these Waltons. You challenge them to fit.
If I go to Walmart, it's typically when I'm on the road. Like I want pistachios or something for my backpack, and because they hold well on a motorcycle ride.
I wanted an angle grinder the other day that cost $22, and wouldn't you know it, there's only one place in the world you can find that. So I went to Walmart. I got the cheapest. Walmart? I got the cheapest fucking angle grinder they sold, and some of those wire brushes, and I polished up all those weight plates, like stripped the paint off of them and stuff. And Walmart's great for like the cheapest shit you could ever buy. Like anything like that, I go to Walmart because it's close by, and I don't know where else you go to buy cheap power tools that I intend to throw away in 6 months.
Yeah, I refuse to go. I make my wife go. I say I'm not going to step foot in there. It's beneath me.
It's a smell.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous, and I'll send her in, and I'll go, if you make it out alive, please come home.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I think it's fair. You're the one streaming.
Right,
the bill's got to be paid.
I mean,
this can't get damaged.
Right,
they can't. No.
I mean, look, you'll go into Walmart when she knows where the exfils are.
Yeah, and more importantly, like right down the road, like it's not that much further of a drive. There's a fucking Publix, which you're never gonna get knifed or, assaulted at a Publix.
Yeah, Publix are nice. I like Publix.
They're okay.
They got good sandwiches, like the pre-made sandwiches, because they're cheap as shit, and it's like twice the size with the meat of a Subway sandwich.
I always like it too because the bag boy always asks if you want to like help carrying your groceries out. And I'm like, I'm not going to ask like a physically retarded person to carry my groceries. Like that is
no.
I do that every time. No, I do that every time.
I feel like a
dude. I hook my bags on the back of their
cripple man. Bring my groceries.
That makes those guys' day. Like I feel like I bet they see that like the other guys who aren't retarded like often get asked by the old ladies to help them out. And they're like, why does no one ever ask me? They don't think I can do it. So I always find like the most messed up bag boy I can. And I'm like, dude, I can't handle this. Can you help me out? We make his day. We make his day.
He knows you can handle it. He knows you're placating him.
He doesn't.
Fucking ripped. Dude, you can carry
that's
8
the best
times
part.
more groceries.
No, I act like I can't lift the milk and stuff.
He's just
and
physically
then he
retarded. His mind is fine. He knows exactly what you're doing. He's not 4 years old, dude. He's like,
I'm on Kyle's team. Like, dude, the other day I'm at the movie theater and there's a guy in a wheelchair. He talks shit to me. And I'm like, it would be an insult not to kick his ass, right? Like, if I don't beat the fuck out of this guy, then I'm not treating him like I do everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Kimura was too much.
Yeah.
I thought. Like,
looks like you've got a date with a set of stairs, Wheels.
Yeah.
You just bully him, and then you're dropping banana peels behind you on as he's trying to chase you. Spinning out. Yeah. No, I agree with Kyle. Like, you let him help. They feel like I have an exact experience with this. I was carrying a 12-pack a couple years ago of like LaCroix or whatever the fuck, and I got it out into the parking lot. The whole thing collapsed, all the cardboard, and all these cans fell out. And who came? The able-bodied, the average IQ. They're passing me, not even looking, not even caring. And then this angel, this kind, mentally handicapped gentleman comes over, starts picking up the cans with me. He didn't have to do that. He was on cart duty. And I remember it. Now, every time I see that guy at that store, at that Deerberg's, I'm like, yeah. He doesn't remember me, but I don't say anything. I'm just like, yeah, I remember that guy. That guy's tight. He helped me out. And he enjoyed helping. I could tell.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't like make a mess for them to get involved helping. Like I wouldn't make him carry my groceries if I didn't need help.
All right,
there's just enough old ladies that actually need help.
Or something really small. I'll be like, carry this for me. And then I'll lead them out.
Don't eat it
to my car.
I know your type.
Taylor, have you ever seen like how happy huskies are when they get hooked up to the plow or whatever?
Are you about to equate these people to dogs?
They're doing what they love. They're doing what they love, and you're like, I don't want to get hooked up to something and pull some guy in a sled and yell mush. That's the worst thing ever.
Terrible.
I don't want to carry groceries either. But to that guy, he loves it.
He loves it. He's a PhD of groceries.
He's mastered it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want them touching my shit. And I'll carry my own shit.
They don't wash well, do they?
Yeah. I don't want to catch your.
It's like you go into the bathroom at that grocery store.
Like, fucking keep your hands to yourself. When you were talking about Kyle being sick nonstop, I was thinking about it. I was like, this guy's only bitching about this being a weird occurrence because he doesn't have kids. Like, I have 2 kids. They're under 3.
They deserve what they get.
They just come home and then they just into my face. And I'm like, it's constant. And like, I got the blood test or whatever to see if I had antibodies for COVID. And they're like, oh my God, you had it. Do you know when you had it? When were you sick? I was like, it's all I've been. I've just been sick for like a year. It's constant. I was like, do I have HIV? Like, why is my immune system so fucking low? Yeah. That I'm just constantly coughing and shit. I spent Christmas just wrapped around the toilet. I was like, I'm finally feeling better because I'm not coughing. And then I just started puking and shitting everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's my kids. They get it for like a second and then they pass it on to me. And my immune system hasn't had a chance to bounce back. I don't have a 3-year-old's immune system. She's frolicking around going like, Dad, why are you puking everywhere?
Well, it's because when Dad was napping last night, you spit in my mouth.
Yeah, you got COVID, and you've been coughing all over my face and shit. I had the one time I've had a friend, like a little collaborator, someone else that does YouTube stuff. I flew him out to my house. I set up my basement to have a nice little bedroom for him and everything. And this guy, I was like, God, I hope I don't get him sick. But he's like, don't worry, man. He's shredded. He's got like a six-pack, fucking super jacked and everything. He's like, I'm perfectly healthy. There's no, even if I get sick, I'll be fine. He was here fucking 18 hours or something. And he all of a sudden was just like, oh my God. And he pinpointed it to my daughter. Like, we were eating spaghetti and we had like a baguette and we were putting butter on it and stuff. And she goes, my daughter looks at him and goes, Mr. Bizzle, you don't have any bread. And she hands him like a piece of baguette. And he's like, I looked at her hand and it was just covered. It was spaghetti sauce up her fucking arm, on her forehead, all over the bread. And her mouth just had like boogers and shit. And he's just like, thank you. You can't not accept food from a 3-year-old.
Right.
And then she sat there and just waited for him to eat it. Like, go on. I was like, why didn't you just do the fucking thing?
Like when they give you plastic food.
Yeah. He ate that shit and like, the next day, dude. All of it. We were in the middle of recording something and you can see the footage. Like he's like smiling and stuff. And all of a sudden his face gets super serious. Less than a minute later, he marches into the bathroom and starts projectile vomiting.
Oh my.
When I vomit, it just falls out of me because I have no core strength. I have no abs. This guy's abs, it looked like a Chinese finger trap. Like you can see all the side abs like going, squeezing his stomach like a whoopee cushion. And the vomit came out like a pressure washer. I was afraid he was going to shatter my toilet bowl with how much force it was coming out.
Impressive.
And he pukes and then looks at me and like, I could see the regret from him just flying over. Like, he was just like, I'm fine. Like, don't worry. Because I was like, I am really sorry. Like, right off the bat, I am so sorry.
Dude, it is so fucking true. Because, like, I have so many friends now that have young kids about those ages. And none of them have autoimmune problems. None of them have been historically sick. And every other weekend now, they are grievously ill because of their kids.
Every weekend,
like,
yeah.
Especially since they went back to preschool. Like there's been a wave I've seen where it's like, oh, we've had this we were at a barbecue planned for a month. And it's like, no, they went back to preschool 2 weeks ago.
How is that
Susie's dead.
That's like, yeah, I don't know. My family just started casting the fishing line in the lake every day. And seems like we catch a few fish every week. It's wild. It's like, yeah, you send those little fuckers out in the world to touch everything and lick everything. And then you're like, hey, come back home. Let's see what you got.
Social space. Like, I'll just watch my daughter just walk up and like finger another kid's mouth. It's like, like, you don't do that shit. Like, of course they mingle in ways that other, like you just grow out of that shit. Even by 4 years old, you're like finger fucking another person that you don't know is not like in their mouth. It's not normal. But apparently like 3 years old and younger and they just do wild shit.
Oh yeah. I had never had someone cough directly on my plate before until I had a couple friends over and they brought their 3-year-old and I was like, hey, what's up? He wanted to talk to me or everything. And I was we were having dinner and he'd already eaten his little chicken nuggets or whatever. And I have my plate of food. We'd grilled something and he walked over just to see what we had. And it was stuff on skewers. And he's like, why is there a stick on, why is there a stick on your on your plate? And like, I was like, oh. And I like look at the parents and they're like, you have to cover your mouth when you talk. And he's like, but I don't want to know why the stick is on your plate. And I was like, that's disgusting. And I continued to eat a little bit of it. I didn't get sick, but it was like, I didn't want to look like I didn't grill enough to just throw away 2 steak skewers.
You try being that brave at my house at my barbecue, you'll be fucking puking and shitting by the next day. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm not going to
lucker dogged out there and not getting sick.
That was a healthy kid.
Yeah, that was an unusually healthy kid. Yeah.
He was he was talking to me too, and like kids, like they start forming memories at a weird time. My 2 little dogs are afraid of him because. When he was like 1 and started to learn how to walk, he would go over and like act like he was going to pet him and then like give him the old Three Stooges like in the eyes, or he would like kick at them and he'd like, hey, don't do that. And he was like walking towards the dogs like recently, just a week or 2 ago, and the dogs are running away. And he's like, why are Fozzie and Teddy afraid of me? And I was like, well, because you won't believe this, but
you're an asshole.
A couple years ago, there was a kid that came around and he kicked the dogs. And so he's afraid of kids. And he was like, that's awful. I would never do that. Because I'm like, well, you're gonna have to like, and so clearly he
and
just
then you
like
show him the video and he starts crying.
I show him the video. Do you deny that this is you? Like, to a 3-year-old. But yeah,
they can't handle that. They don't have the faculties.
So your oldest is 3, Sam?
Yeah, I was just saying, you just mentioned like your earliest memories, and I'm thinking like, when do I have to shape up as a parent? Like, at what age do they actually start cataloging stuff? You know,
4 for like sure. 3 or 4.
4 for
3
sure.
or 4.
Yeah, I remember.
You can get away with murder.
I remember like a lot of like year 4. I remember a lot of that. I remember a lot of the like main, like, you know how memory works, but it's like those big events that happened, like injuries and like scary times and like fun times, things like that. You like store.
I remember maybe a birthday party. Not too much. I think you can still have sex in front of 4-year-olds.
I remember
probably not.
I guess
you're gonna go
at his house.
You could. They're not going to stop you. Like you.
Yeah.
Like a big career of laying down advice to people. Don't fuck in front of a 4-year-old. That's not that'll be a memory.
Well, this is the way you establish.
We've changed it up. Now we get bad advice.
Okay. He's done a villain arc now. Now we do bad advice. Fuck in front of your kid, whatever the age. I don't care.
At 4 they don't remember. At 17 they learn.
You didn't cover your mouth when you coughed. Now you got to watch me fuck your mom.
Punishment fits the crime.
I'm the kind of dad who plays for keeps.
If you were like, Woody, what's real? A 40-foot tall spotted moose or a horse with a horn? I'd definitely pick the horse with the horn over the giraffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the unicorn itself isn't that far fetched. Like if they were like scientists discovered a horse that had cartilage growing, it'd be like, yeah, I believe that. Totally believe that. Sure. Why not? But some of these other ones, like I got so had by the Discovery Channel as a kid because how old are you, Sam? Are we about the same age?
I'm 30.
30? Okay. I'm 30 as well. So same age.
Awesome.
I remember, and do you remember watching these where there would be huge Discovery Channel shows where it'd just be like the mysteries of the deep, and they would whole cloth make up animals they thought maybe could have existed, and they would put it forth as though it was like, as though science was like right on the precipice of putting together the 20-foot tall bear, but we couldn't quite figure it out, but we're sure that it existed. And I was like sad for a time as a young kid, like regretting that I didn't get to see all these cool animals that used to exist. And it wasn't until I got older that I was like, oh, they were just making shit up. They don't know at all if there was a shark that was 12 times longer than the great white. They just found a really big bone somewhere and were like, this could be it. Like,
is it the biggest animal ever to exist in all of Earth's history?
The blue whale.
The blue whale, that giant fucking whale.
It happens right now. Right now, we are living in the era of the largest animal ever.
But
that is cool.
We're not during the time of that giant armadillo. I thought those were fucking cool. It's just a regular armadillo, but he's like 6 feet tall. That's my new mythical. Like, that's my Clydesdale. I want a giant armadillo. That's gonna be my. Imagine making a saddle for that thing. When you sit on it, your legs are fucking. You're doing a split. They're straight out. They're just
so
straight out. Yeah,
I remember. That was a cool one.
I would lounge back. I'd make it like a chase lounge.
Do you remember the giant sloth?
Yeah, those are tight.
I thought that would be so cool.
All the big stuff.
We killed it all.
I think we killed them.
Oh,
a lot of it was gone before we were around.
Yeah, I think it was like higher oxygen or something in the environment or whatever. And there was just like
with the bugs,
dragonflies were like 6 foot wingspans and stuff. That would be terrifying to have.
How do we know that? Because that's horrible.
You haven't seen those? There's a whole great like David Attenborough level like thing about when the oxygen was high and the millipedes and centipedes were like huge. 5 fucking feet long and like this big around and like the giant like wasps and all the insects were bigger because the insects absorb oxygen through their skin, so they're limited. Their size is limited through that, depending on the concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere. But it was way higher then, so they were way bigger than they could be. That's
how
terrifying.
big were these bugs?
It varies, but like I don't know. The dragonflies were like gargantuan, like bigger than birds.
No, there is no God.
It's like an albatross with a bunch of legs. Yeah, it's
terrifying. I hate
Taylor, you were right though. You were talking about like being misled by Discovery and stuff, and we grew up at a very interesting time where history and Discovery were very like Carl Sagan, like fucking by the book shit. Like it was literally academic channels and stuff. And then they got to a point. So our parents trusted them and trusted that we could watch it and be like, hey, this is just educational stuff. And then they went during our youth and transitioned to just dog shit where they're like, fucking. I love how insanely disrespectful it is to the Egyptians, where it's like they're like, this is the one thing, like we accomplished this so long ago, like we were like so advanced and stuff, and people just come by and go like, nah, that's aliens, you brown people are too dumb for that shit. You can't make a triangle up there, you fucking idiots. And,
there's new data. Were the pyramids a result of ages ahead of their time geometry? Or perhaps, and then it's like downcast camera. It's like, and then a guy like summoning electricity, like some other answer is needed. And it's like the Egyptian wizard. And then, like, you're right. They passed like ships in the night. I remember watching History Channel documentaries that were like, and in World War I, mustard gas was a huge concern, which resulted in people having to wear masks. And Hitler actually fought in World War I. And the reason he had his goofy mask was because long mustaches weren't, they would keep the gas mask open so that and then 3 weeks later it's like Nazis, the occult, and it's like, really, like, and while the Nazis were doing the Holocaust, they also were sacrificing babies to the devil. And it's like, at some point some of them were fighting a war here. Like they were not. I like that a lot of covens and witches were going down.
No, see, they use that stuff to bridge the gap, because what you just described with the Nazis looking for like the Holy Grail or whatever the fuck, they did that shit. Himmler was really into that stuff, and it's kind of fun to learn about because you can only get the like step by step what happened at D-Day so many times, but then they just full out like went wild with it, and it was like ancient aliens and all that other nonsense.
If I was Egyptian and I saw that guy, the fucking aliens dude with the crazy, I would uppercut him so fucking hard. I would be like, dude, you got like half the Western world thinking that we can't make a fucking pyramid. Like, come on, this is like our one claim to fame. Like, this is what people know us for, and you're saying that we ain't even smart enough to do this shit. Like, come on, I'd be fucking screaming.
What do you do when you get? What do you do when you get somebody else's UPS package delivered to your house?
Steal it.
Yeah.
I'll take it back to their house.
I check if it's someone in my neighborhood. Yeah, I go and give it to them. If it, I'm just, this has never happened to me, but hypothetical. If it was just delivered, and it's just, I look up the address and it's like across town, I'm stealing it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Dude, there is a guy who used to live at this house that is in serious trouble with the IRS.
I love those. When you move into a new place and you get the mail from the previous.
Dude, when the IRS starts sending colored letters, it's like... Yeah, I'm thinking like, how have they not found this guy? Like, because they must not have found this guy, because I keep getting mail for him like every 6 months. Pay your fucking taxes. Like, I don't know who you are. That's just
that guy's gone.
Yeah,
I love moving into a place and seeing the just little bits of the lifestyle of the previous tenant. You find shit in the corners of the closets. You get little pieces of their mail, and you're like, oh, they were really into, whatever. They signed up for like Boating Weekly or something. I guess this guy was really into boats. And then
I got a good one today.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
I got a good one today. I got 60 K-Cups.
Oh, that's actually, well, do you have a Keurig?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's like 3 of every kind. Like,
is it like good flavors?
That's dope. That is, and it wasn't addressed to you?
Nope.
Yeah, keep that shit.
Free 60
I also
K-Cups?
got free 60 K-Cups in the kitchen now. I opened them up a little while ago, just like went through them all. And then and then a bunch of books that are for kids. I don't know what I'm going to do with those.
If that was me, I would love that shit. I read my kids 2 books a night.
Yeah, it's not that kind of book. It's like, hang on, I'm going to get them. That's fine.
Oh,
everybody
poops. Okay.
Everybody you read your kid 2 books a night?
Yeah, every night, dude. And I love like the Dr. Seuss ones. I got those fucking things down. I got a rhythm and everything. I don't fuck up the rhymes and the words. Fox on Socks, I can do like first try, easy peasy all the way through without fucking up.
Experience
red fish,
that.
blue fish, or whatever. That's a classic.
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Blue fish, yeah. The one that I'm not fucking big on is the places you'll go is very disturbing to me. I don't care for that.
I remember that one there's a lot of curly Q spires and things like that. I remember I loved butter side up and butter side down, the toast ones. Where like there was a journal. War. The Big Life Journal for kids. What kind of lessons does it have for children?
Well, just for fun, if you could throw a party for your friends and family, what would it be like? Draw or describe the party below. There's a box there.
Oh, it's like a write your own book.
Yeah, it's like I do my best. That's the next. Oh, that's the end of that chapter. Okay. This is love learning. I have special talents. I am only passionately curious. Albert, it's some Einstein quotes. I don't know, man. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Like a self-help book for a 5-year-old.
Some kind of Hispanic fellow with a guitar.
Where is it? What's the backdrop there? Where's he at?
Space, I think.
Or maybe is that a book? A book and the world is floating around. That book sucks, dude.
It's about learning another language.
A kid is happier for having not received that.
Oh, this is about Chris Hadfield actually becoming an astronaut. So yeah, there's this one.
That was Chris Hadfield? No,
yeah,
it wasn't. Throw him back up on screen. Get back to that page.
It's gonna be hard to find him.
That guy looked like a Mexican gardener.
They did
That's
Hadfield
exactly dirty.
You believe anyone can be an astronaut if you believe and you read.
What just happened?
You must study to be an astronaut.
That kind of they made him look like a weird off-duty mariachi guy.
Hey, you know if the general from those insurance commercials
1-800
contacts and lost some weight, that's who it would be.
And then
to the general and save some time.
I got the 3-minute gratitude journal for kids.
All right, let's run through this. Let's put it to the test.
That sounds like some bullshit where you're like trying to force your kid to be grateful for all the stuff you're
you're like teaching them manners, basically. I think
be grateful to your cool dad.
It's like every day.
This roof over your head.
So like for every day of the week, it's like I'm thankful for 1, 2, and 3, and then this person brought me joy today, and then I feel, and then like smiley faces through all the way to frowny face, like shit like that.
Yeah.
So like some poor kid out there is not going to be able to express himself properly now. Sorry, that's not going to focus.
I don't know. Maybe I could see like the feelings part being kind of important.
And then I don't know what this one is. It almost feels wrong to open it, but it says, "I am a gift."
No, you're not.
No, it is.
Yeah, it's a gift.
My birthday's coming up. How did they know? Oh man. So that and the 60K cups. So it was a good day.
Yeah, that's
you
solid.
dropped a package on my.
You absolutely got some little kid's birthday delivery.
Yes, I did.
It's their 5-year-old.
He's about to learn something.
Books and coffee.
That little kid is about to get a life lesson that no book can teach.
I'm going to start. Let's see. What is it? A Thursday? I am thankful for the UPS man not being able to read my address.
Dude, you know what would be unironically the funniest thing for you to do is if you go through and fill out the entire thing and then ship it back to them. That would be so
just like fill it out completely. Yeah,
it's well worn. It's a lot of scribbles and corrections. Do it in like 4 months.
Yeah,
that'd be great for you.
So, like, how close were these people to you?
That's not relevant.
Not close enough.
You need to look up their address and be like, "You."
What do you mean look it up?
Horrible book choices.
It was written on the package. I know exactly where they are.
If I get a package that's not mine, it's for like my next door neighbor, and that happens once a year.
Yeah.
Like,
here's what happens. Most of the time, I tear into the package before I know it's theirs. We're gonna say that that's what happened today.
In there. Yeah.
It's not, and then like sometimes I end up with like one of my neighbors, I guess, like gets these fake eyelashes, and I was like, it's gonna be weird for me to return these to her. Maybe someday I'll date a black girl. So I
steal them. Yeah.
Be a good kid.
It's not really stealing; it's failing to return.
It was given to me, and that's all I know.
Yeah.
So
when you're delivered something that's not yours, what do you do? Because I bet it's rare for you because your house is so unique there.
No, I usually you can tell which neighbor it was for, and I put it in the golf cart and I go visit a neighbor. It's actually kind of fun. Woody burns it. All right, that's sick. That way.
So here's why I think you should always keep it, and here's why I always keep it, and here's why I think you should keep my package if it ever gets delivered to you. Amazon has great customer service. Let's both have one. Okay. You know what? Look. If my Rogue plates had went to my neighbor yesterday and I was like, hey, they didn't get delivered, and they were like, shit, we'll send you some new ones, I'd be so psyched for my neighbor to have a cool set of Rogue plates now. I would give it I see him working out in his garage. He's got like a little mini gym. Like, he doesn't have nice shit. But if I looked and I saw he had like Rogue plates out of nowhere on his little thing, I'd be like, yeah.
How many 45s did you get?
Just 2. I've already got
2. It's gone for 30 seconds.
2 doesn't mean 4.
Fridge. I come back.
I've already
we're
got
talking
2.
about fucking plates again.
Sorry.
Woody,
we had successfully driven it away.
We're still talking about stealing from our neighbors. What I was saying was that I think it's always the right thing to do to keep whatever comes to you.
That was good.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would want you to do with my shit. Because Amazon's going to hook you up now. So we both get one. So I'm choosing between me getting only you getting something or only me getting something and us both getting something. It's like that railroad thing where you don't know which way to flip the switch. I came up with a new way to flip the switch. We both get shit now.
Yeah, but when I order something, I get excited for it to show up. And if you make me wait that fucking 3-4 days for me to get the replacement, I'm going to come at you swinging if I see that you have my Rogue plates in your garage.
If you see me in my front yard filling out my
head. Yeah.
You see me filling out my gratitude journal out front.
I was waiting at the mail slot for that gratitude journal to come shooting in, and I see you out on your hammock filling out your gratitude book the next day.